Welcome to Futro Hit Movie Gems. Today I've got some very special guests. Grant, my co-host.
Up,
Cameron.
up, nerds.
And Jake.
Hey, how's it going?
Today
A
we're gonna be
lively crew, you may say.
Yeah. Yeah, it's today Halloween? Yesterday was Halloween, right? Okay, so
Yesterday was indeed Halloween.
getting back into the groove of things. Very sad to see Halloween go, but today we're gonna be talking about a TV show that is amazing. It reminds me a lot of Black Mirror. I know I kind of compare a lot of things to Black Mirror, and I should probably stop doing that.
A lot. Well, just don't compare it to that. Just say they're standalone episodes. That's all you need to say.
Yeah, like Black Mirror.
Similar
They're
to the
standalone.
structure of Black Mirror.
I think it's
not like
a good
Black
comparison.
Mirror.
Like, I like that comparison.
Well, it's just each episode is its
Yeah.
own story. I mean,
So
its
that's why you
own
can say it's similar to
director,
the
own.
structure.
Yeah,
of
but
the
it has
series
own
of Black
animation.
Mirror.
It's like you don't even have to watch them in order. You can just watch just specific ones.
Similar to the structure of Black Mirror.
And so I'm really excited to talk about the show. Grant, what did you think about it watching when I forced you guys to watch it?
It was definitely one of those things that I'm like, I don't know if I'd like this. But then, like, as soon as you watch an episode, it's like, well, I guess it depends which one you watch. But like the ones that we watched were just super fun, very original, and like it left you with this feeling of I want more, and
Okay.
that's kind of hard to find, you know, especially with TV shows nowadays. You're kind of just like, I feel like I've just got nothing else better to do, you know, like. So I really enjoyed that feeling of like wanting more of that world building in those settings that they created for us. So like that's probably my favorite part.
What about you, Cameron?
Yeah, usually anything Jordan pushes on us like crack cocaine is either the worst thing I've ever watched in my life or the best. So
It can't
it's
all be
either
home
like
runs.
he either pushes Invincible on us and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so good. Or he pushes like some zombie movie on me and I'm like, well, that was a four. But yeah, this was definitely one of those hits that he showed us. It's really just fun, kind of like Jordan or we've been talking about. Just the different animations is really fun.
Well, and they're short enough, so if you don't enjoy it, it's like, whatever, I wasted 7 minutes. And then other episodes, you're like Grant said, you're just like, I want to see more. Like the one David Fincher directed.
Yeah, the ship one.
Yeah, Bad
World
Traveling.
Score, just give David Fincher more work.
No, he is so good. Oh my
He has
gosh.
not touched anything bad, excluding Benjamin Button.
I like Benjamin Button, actually.
It's weird as shit, but
it is weird, but it's good.
It's not bad. It's just not good.
Well, I'm shocked too because I hate like de-aging and I hate that technology and the way it looks, but for some reason, like he's just so good at storytelling. I was able to
And
look
it was just so
past
horrifying that you just kind of like look past it. You're like, oh.
Exactly. And I apologize for my voice. I'm a little sick today. Jake, what about you? What was it like watching it? Me forcing it down your throat.
I've heard the name before. I had never tried it. I'm a fan of some anime shows, so I've definitely heard the name before. And then when
you could say that
watched it, when we all watched it,
Jake is also a pusher of cocaine and crack.
Occasionally, yeah. So I really like the variety. Like each episode is just so different and such an interesting story. And yeah, the ones we watched were all really great, and I liked just how different each one is, and they're all kind of very chaotic in their own way. It's like very intense situations, and I really like that too.
Yeah. And then I was going to ask you guys each which one was your favorite episode. Grant, do you want to go?
I'm trying to remember all the ones we watched, but I mean, obviously the David Fincher one was so good, but I think outside of that one was probably the zombie one. It's like the miniature, like zoomed out view is really funny.
Yes. Yeah, I think the third season was my favorite. Had my favorite episodes. I showed you guys most of the episodes from that one. What about you, Cameron? What was your favorite episode?
I think my favorite episode was probably the like the rat episode, and I think that
I was gonna
episode
say
just
that.
went along with the whole theme that I think what makes this show work so well is less is more. Because there's many times that it wouldn't even show, you would just hear, and you're just like, oh, dude, I bet those rats are just getting freaking wrecked. And then it goes in there, and then the rats are like, "Ah!" And they're like, they have like armies and stuff like that, and they have like machinery that they're using against the robots. And I just think leaving a lot of that up to the imagination and just doing less is more is just so impressive. They did so well in that episode.
Yes, I agree. That one's definitely up there. Yeah, and Grant, the Night of the Mini Dead is the one you were
Yeah.
talking about. That intro when the guy's on top of the statue, he's like, it's so funny. Oh my gosh. And then it like falls over and then the cross stands up, lights on fire.
See, that reminded me too much of Jack A, the beginning of Jack A 4 or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh,
at
yeah.
the moment I just
Dinosaur,
saw it, I was
whatever,
like
Godzilla.
PTSD. I was like, twitching.
And Jake, you said your favorite one was also Mason's Rats.
Yeah, I was thinking the rats, but also I really liked of course, the bad traveling one was really great. I thought that one was really clever, and the trick about how he like wrote on the notes and then said he knew who did what, but then he didn't really know, and then they kind of turned themselves in a way. I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, he said they all drew X's, so all
Yeah.
of them betrayed him, but he made them think.
He said, well, he said 2 of you did, and then he shot 2 people, so then he knew. Like,
And that's why the other people kept quiet,
Yeah,
because they're like, oh
yeah.
shoot, like everybody else is on the other
Mhm.
side. I don't want to turn myself in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
so
I
good.
thought that was good.
Another
brain.
episode that I absolutely loved, I didn't get to show you guys, was Pop Squad. I mentioned this earlier before we started, but it reminds me of In Time, which Ty hates, but I think everybody here likes that movie. And
I've
that's from
never seen it.
two.
The Justin Timberlake one.
It's a
Grant?
good one.
Yeah.
They like
they
have
have-
minutes, like
yeah,
counting
they got-
down on their life, and like you like get paid in minutes, kind of like it's like the
Oh,
currency.
yeah, I
currency.
think I've heard of that before. I've just never seen it done.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then I really like Shapeshifters from season 1. It's about werewolves. I don't know, there's something about werewolves and vampires, and Jake ended up watching one of those, the vampire one. I can't
Yes.
remember what it's called.
What's it called?
And the Secret War. You watched
Secret
that one
War
too.
and Sucker of Souls.
Sucker of
I
Souls,
watched.
yeah.
I thought the bear one was really cool too.
Yeah, that was great.
Oh, and then
Fair.
Jabaro also was another episode I really liked. It is so weird. Like there's not, I don't think, any words, but it's like manic, and like there's this girl that gets out of the water and she starts screaming and everybody goes crazy and just starts killing themselves. It's so weird. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen,
Dang,
but I
dude.
love it. Yeah, there's some really great ones. Like going back to Black Mirror, it's just like some episodes and they're so good because the people get like to really focus and keep it very tight, like, and kind of trim all the fat. And I feel like sometimes TV shows put a lot of fat in there to kind of fluff it up.
Oh, they plump
The Walking
it,
Dead.
dude. Oh no, I agree. I
Yeah, if you've
totally
ever watched
agree.
any show on the CW,
So much
yeah, we're
filler.
calling you out, CW. Any shows from the CW have about 17 filler episodes of 23 episode seasons.
True.
Yeah,
Like all you want to do is get to the backstory of Arrow when you're watching that.
What does CW mean, Cameron? What's that?
It's a streaming platform.
Oh,
Like a channel, right? TV channel, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, TV channel.
they're also a streaming platform.
Yeah.
They're both.
Right.
I don't have a whole lot else to talk about this, except I kind of wish there wasn't so much. And I didn't show you guys all the episodes because there's a lot of just over the top inappropriate stuff. So I'm just like, oh geez, like, did they need to be so excessive? But yeah, other than that, like I enjoyed it and I'm excited for season 4. So, and then I'll let you guys know if there's any other episodes to check out. But do you guys have any final thoughts or any nitpicks?
Just that I want to watch more. They're pretty short, so I can just kind of slip them in when I have a little time, which is nice. So yeah, I
Yeah.
want to watch more.
Yeah, if
Cool.
anybody wants to know what to watch, they need to watch Bad Traveling. I think that one's highly recommended.
Yeah, that
episode.
one's fantastic. Also, I thought it was really interesting. One of the few episodes that did remind me of Black Mirror was the one about the Roomba that went rogue. I
Yeah.
feel like there's a lot of things like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
No, I think what shows a really good show or a really good idea is when you think of like 10 or 100 other ideas that stem off of that. And I think that's super impressive. Just like, because you kind of want to see that whole world surrounding that. And so just like when an idea is that good, you just think of like, oh, I could write a sequel to that. Like, I mean, for the whole, like the David Fincher episode, Bad Traveling, like you're like, this should have been Pirates 4, 5, and 6. Like they should have had David Fincher direct it and it would have been like the best thing you ever seen. And so great things like that, just like it's that perfect medium where you want more, but you're satisfied with what you have.
Yeah, and speaking of Black Mirror, we watched 2 episodes afterwards. So Playtest, that's the same director as Prey, and I know you guys just watched that. What was your thoughts about Prey? I know you guys.
Not satisfied.
Yeah.
Interesting. He also directed the first episode of The Boys. I think he's a fine director. Like I didn't think Prey was like that bad, but
He clearly
Well-
didn't study physics in high school.
That's
Goodness gracious. He slept through that in class. Slept through the entire thing. Has no
It's
idea how
so
physics
true.
work.
But like
The
all of
nunchuck.
us talk. Yeah, I know. All of us talked
Hatchet,
together too
yeah.
about how like the suspense was really gone. Just like introducing the predator like so early that it just felt like there was no build up to like what is this thing hunting her, right? Because the whole trailer is like, oh, the predator is hidden. Like what takes the bear, right, away from attacking her? Anyway, so it kind of just like felt like they tried to build suspense.
I was
that
more
wasn't
afraid
there.
of the bear than I
Yeah.
was of the predator.
this is the CGI bear. You're more scared of that.
Yes. Dude, because are you kidding me? The predator, the way it fetching dies, where she's like, I set up this spot and you die in the mud. When she literally, she could have just gone around the mud and she's like,
Yeah.
like sinking in the mud. I'm like, you literally could just turn around because you were just on hard, solid ground. So, you want to pull yourself up on that hard, solid ground. Yeah. Homegirl was special. And everyone just consistently telling her she can't do something because she's a woman.
That's
I
what
mean, I
was gonna
understand
say,
maybe the
just,
time
yeah.
period. It's like, okay, yeah, but still, I'm just like, she can still do stuff if she's a baller hunter. Everyone's like, you can't do that. You're a woman. So I'm just like,
Yeah, Cameron, get in
but
the
if she's,
kitchen, start cooking.
I know, I'm like, if she's a better hunter than you, then let her hunt. Like, what the fudge? She doesn't want to gather berries. She doesn't want to gather berries. And everyone's like, gather those berries, bitch. Just like, okay, this is weird.
Cameron, what else have you seen lately, and what are you looking forward to?
Ooh, I've been on the grind. So, I recently watched 10 Cloverfield Lane with Kelsey because she had never seen it. Really good PG-13 thriller. Man, every time I watch that movie, I'm just like, man, this is a 10 out of 10. And the moment she gets out
The
and
bunker
the
one.
aliens show up, I'm just like, this movie sucks. Everything about it is Prey until that. I give it a 9 out of 10. It's like a 8.5, like 8.75 for me. Just they had to connect it to Cloverfield just to get butts and seats, but still, like, it's an amazing thriller, and I wish they would have gone with the payoff of like he was insane and those people weren't actually like there was actually no sickness outside. I wish they would have gone that route because then it kind of was like,
Wait, 10
oh my God.
Cloverfield Lane?
Yeah.
Cameron, that's also the same director as Prey.
No way.
You just
Well,
watched like all his movies. Holy crap.
Dang, that's crazy.
That was funny.
And then
And
I also watched.
I love that one. I'm so surprised.
No,
that...
I do.
Oh,
I gave it a
okay.
9 out of 10.
Oh.
I'm just saying that the connection to aliens is just, it totally kills it.
No, well, that wasn't. Yeah, they slapped that on the studios.
Oh,
like,
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
I
That's
totally
what
see that.
that's what I was saying. Is like
sorry.
it has nothing to do with the plot. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, there's aliens in this movie, and I'm like, why?
Yeah, because
Explain to me why.
John Goodman, Cameron, he is so good. Oh my god,
So good. And when she finds out like a girl had gone missing and been living in his touch, I'm like, oh my, this dude has been like having this girl be his like new daughter. I was like, major creepy vibes. And then they just ruin it and they're like, oh, but there's aliens, so he's actually not crazy. And I'm like, he's still effing crazy. And when he he falls in the acid and then he's like, coming after that, scary as shiz. And then I also watched I've been on like my 7-year-old grind. I've watched Justice League Crisis on Two Earths. That was pretty good. It's essentially a parallel universe where Lex Luthor is the leader of the Justice League, and like the superheroes of his Earth, like the Justice League, are all evil.
Is it
And
the
so
same style as the original like cartoon?
kinda. And then he travels to like to the regular Justice League and like takes the Justice League back to fight the evil Justice League. It's pretty dope, but it's pretty basic. And then Justice League versus the Fatal Five, that was kind of meh. It was just a weird plot line. It's just like, yeah, it's weird. I don't even want to explain it. Then there was Batman Gotham by Gaslight, which is insane. It's essentially it's Jack the Ripper, but Batman's alive during that time, and it's really good. And like Jack the Ripper's framing Batman for all the murders, and then you find out Jack the Ripper, spoiler, is Jim Gordon. You're like, what a butt! And it's so insane. And his wife is like, she's like the one supporting. She's like, all these whores need to pay for what they've done. I'm just like, oh my gosh. And so yeah, that he just kills like all women who like dress scandalous or whatever. And then I also watched another Justice League where it's insane. It's essentially Batman created this like failsafe for if all the Justice League were to go rogue, and then this super bad guy Vandal Savage got a hold of those plans. So so he like tries to kill off all the Justice League using Batman's plans. It's pretty insane. And then I also watched The Tinder Swindler. Oh my gosh, my
Yes.
enemies are after me.
Cameron, there's t-shirts that say my enemies are after me. Send me 100K.
Dude, I have never. It's like the Manti Te'o where I'm just like, how could you get duped into like believing you have a fake girlfriend? And then I'm just like, holy shiz, this dude is like Catch Me If You Can.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
that, like I don't even know, like a genius. I'm like, this dude is the most professional, manipulative dude. He's like, imagine your most manipulative ex times that by 4,000 and then give him $1 million.
Is this a Netflix documentary?
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to watch it, Grant. It's about a guy who like matches people on Tinder and lives like a fake life as like a super like a billionaire son. And
I
then
think you were
after
telling me
like
about this, and then he like asked for money, and then yeah, that's wild.
yeah, it's insane. And he's still a free man today. What a I mean what a stinky guy. Then I watched The Redeem Team, which is on Netflix. It's just about the 2008 U.S. Olympic basketball team. It's pretty dope. Definitely do recommend if you're a basketball fan. I watched Beverly Hills Cop. First time I started watching that, it was rough, and his humor was just not hitting. His laugh was just taking me out of the movie every time he would do it. And I was like, this is not the Eddie Murphy I know. But second half was actually really good and really fun. And I was like, okay, this I can see the niche that this hits for 80s like comedy. Watched Where the Crawdads Sing. Kelsey really wanted to watch that.
I couldn't get through it. Is it get better at the end?
No, it's horrendous. And and there's two.
I'm
there's
so
like
glad
two
I turned it off.
really uncomfortable sex scenes because I think both of them are rape or one of them's rape, and it's just like
Geez.
you don't see anything, but it's just like you see the guy thrusting in his face, and I'm just like, I'm so uncomfortable on so many levels. And yeah, and then it's just a crazy end of the stories because essentially this girl who like was looks like she was framed for a murder, and then at the end you find out that spoiler she actually did murder the guy, and then her whole justification is like in nature sometimes a predator must be killed in order for a creature to survive or to adapt, and I'm like, you just literally murdered a kid. I mean, he was like a molester, so I'm not exactly justifying him, but I mean a castration I think would have got the job done, but. And then, yeah, just watched Steve Jobs with Jake and everybody, and then same
so
with
good.
Scary Movie 2, which sucked compared to Scary Movie 1 and 3.
I know.
then
Scary Movie 2 is garbage. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
The first one's so funny though.
Oh, that's so
the
fun.
first one is and the third one,
Third one's good.
but the first one is tough to beat. We all have secrets.
I'm
I've
king
never
of the
been more.
world.
Teacher.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I'm in the middle. I'm looking forward to. I'm just in the middle of Batman: The Long Halloween Part 1. So I'm gonna watch the part 1 and 2, and it seems really good so far. It's kind of like it's starting off with kind of the plot of Dark Knight, and I'm like, was this before Dark Knight or after Dark Knight?
I
But-
really loved not The Killing Joke. What was the other Joker one with the Batman Beyond? No, is that the
Yeah, Batman
yeah,
Beyond, yeah.
that one was really good. Is there other ones that are similar, or does the Joker make an appearance? Because he's like my favorite.
There's not a whole lot of Joker.
Okay.
I'm surprised you didn't like The Killing Joke. I enjoyed The Killing Joke.
I don't know. It is
a
Maybe
bit gruesome,
maybe I just had different expectations for it.
which is understandable.
Like I loved him in Harley Quinn, and he was in the first couple episodes, and then he stopped making an appearance, and I'm like, I'm done. Did you try it out, Cameron? Have you watched the Harley Quinn?
No, because
Okay.
I don't have HBO Max anymore.
No, I own them.
Oh, then yeah, I'll definitely check them out.
Okay. And you'll have to let me know of all the shows of those animated ones. You'll have to let me know which one's the best. From the sound of it, you said the not Gaslight, gas something.
Oh, Gotham by Gaslight, yeah.
Yeah.
That one is definitely that, or Justice League Doom. Justice League Doom is the one where like they try to kill off all of the Justice League, and it's insane.
Oh, cool.
Like they put like magnesium fire on Martian Manhunter, so you can't put it out. So anytime he like jumps into water, it just makes him like light on fire even more. So he's just like,
Jeez.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
like, what is this rated?
What was there something you're
Dang.
looking forward to, or was that what you just said?
Oh no, yeah, just the Halloween part 2, and
Oh,
then
part 2, that's right.
and then I also want to. I also started Rear Window, but I need to try it again. It was hard. It's definitely a slow burner.
You have to be
Oh, it
in the
is
right
slow.
mood.
It
Yeah.
is really good
Yeah.
though. Yeah.
And
Well,
so
we might
but-
have to watch it together. I'd be down to watch that, Cameron. That's a good one.
Okay. Yeah, and I want to rewatch Attack the Block because that movie was so fun.
So good.
So that's on my rewatch list.
What about you, Grant?
So I watched Swiss Family Robinson with Elise yesterday.
no.
I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it before. 'Cause I had never heard of it before.
Isn't there like a children's book?
Well,
Meet
it
the
was funny 'cause
Robinsons, I'm thinking of. Never mind.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because this is like 1960 is when it came out, and so it's about like this family stranded on an island. They pretty much learn to live off the island. There's like a whole bunch of animals, and like there's a whole bunch of scenes where you're like, animal cruelty would not let this happen today. Like they have like dogs fighting a tiger. They have like a zebra stuck, and they like zap it to like get it out of the mud or whatever. Like all this stuff that's like, I mean, it's like interesting to watch because it's better than some of the CGI nowadays. But like, yeah, it's I don't know if I can recommend it, but it's an interesting movie. I think it's a classic for some people because they like grew up on it or
Grew up with
whatever.
it.
Yeah. But
I grew up
but
on the
I was-
wrong movies, man.
Sounds like Gilligan's Island a little bit.
It's pretty much that, but just a movie. So, and then I mentioned this last podcast, but Demon Slayer, the Mugen Train arc, and the Entertainment District arc are like kind of like the second season, sort of Demon Slayer, and I recommend it to everyone
Do you watch that, Jake?
everywhere.
I'm assuming you do.
I watched the first season. I haven't done the movie yet, and I haven't done the episodes after the movie, so I've seen like
Yeah,
half
'cause-
of it maybe.
So it's kind of
Half
weird
the-
because like the movie is kind of the Mugen Train arc episodes just combined into a movie. It's like pretty much the exact same thing, but the episodes has like a little bit of a backstory episode, kind of the first one. So just watch the episodes instead of the movie. But like I didn't think it could get better, but I honestly believe it's better than the first season. So like it's really, really good.
Is it better than Death Note?
So
Oh no, not even close. But it's a fine watch. It's like good animation and characters you like and good action.
yeah.
Thank you for
I mean-
having your head on your shoulders, Jake.
What?
I don't think it's better. I love the main characters so much in Demon Slayer. Like Cameron, you should try it out. I'm serious.
You
I
don't
think you'd
like
it.
Light Yagami, Grant?
I mean, you feel conflicted for rooting for the villain.
I never
of
felt
the story.
conflicted. Maybe that says something about me.
Maybe. But
God
then
of the new
I'm looking
world.
forward to let's see. I'm really looking forward to All Quiet on the Western Front. I think that came out a couple days ago on Netflix. This is a war movie. I want to watch more of a show Jake showed us, Arcane. It's about like League of Legends. So I want to watch that more.
I'm gonna talk about that too.
Nerd
So.
alert! Nerd alert!
Yeah. And then, well,
As
we
I
were
say, I'm
telling,
watching Justice League as a 22-year-old.
yeah, exactly. Because
It's
we
made.
were talking about war movies, and I mentioned 13 Hours, and now I really want to rewatch that movie. This is really good. So kind of what I'm looking forward to. And Chosen season 3 coming out this month, so I'm excited for that. Anyways, that's it for me.
All right, Jake.
Yeah, recently I guess I've watched. Most recently was House of the Dragon. That show, the first season came out and it just finished, and
Oh
it's
yeah, the Game of Thrones side
yeah, the Game
series.
of Thrones side. And
Pretty cool.
it's good. It's still in like the world building phase, kind of like it's kind of slow, and there's some action, but there's some nitpicks I have. Like there's a lot of time jumps, so you get connected to this character and they're doing these things, and then all of a sudden it's like 10 years later and like, oh wait, who is this person, like type of thing. Like,
Dang.
so that's
Yeah.
a little annoying,
My
but
only worry about it is that it wasn't written by the writer, right? Like the actual writer of the books.
I think that's right, yeah.
Hmm.
But
Sketchy.
either way, it's been fine so far. Like
Okay.
it's been interesting setting up, and now there's like a big conflict about to brew kind of thing. Like,
Well, did you like the last season of Game of Thrones? That'll say a lot. Okay, good.
we all know that
Okay.
came down pretty quick.
Okay.
But yeah, it
I don't
doesn't
think
really
I've ever met
compare.
someone that did enjoy it.
It doesn't
Like, I
compare
liked it.
to the original Game of Thrones series, but
Oh my gosh.
it's still interesting, and I like it's still in the same universe, which I like, and I like this type of content, so I'm enjoying it. It's a good solid like 7
And
or
Jake, weren't you
something.
telling me that it's like less graphic and like less nudity, right?
I think there's quite a bit less nudity. There's still some, so gotta be careful for that. But yeah, I feel like there's a lot less.
Not as bad as
Cameron, it's
fucking
not Game of
episode.
Thrones if it doesn't have it, okay?
It's not as bad as episode 1 of Game of Thrones. I'm like, I guess they really just threw people in the deep end. They're like, yeah, we're having incest and pushing children out windows, and it's like, what's going on?
That's true.
Yeah. So it's
And
interesting. It's in the past. There's like a lot more dragons, and you get to learn more about the houses and the backstory of kind of how the world was in the original series. So it's interesting in my opinion. But
That's cool.
and then I also, as Grant mentioned, I really love the show Arcane. I watched that quite a while ago when it came out, but
is
got
that the show that
100%
you
on
showed
Rotten
us
Tomatoes.
the trailer for?
The one,
What was
Yeah.
that?
yeah, the one he's
Okay.
trying to shove down our throats as hard as he could.
Just it's a great show. It's
The
like
one that Jake
9
was trying to take away free will of everyone participating.
it's 9 episodes, like 40 minutes each, and it's kind of like it's set in this universe based off of a game, but you don't have to know anything about the game. It's based off League of Legends a little bit, but like I said, that doesn't really matter too much because there's just some little Easter eggs you get to know if you know the game a little. But and then it's kind of like this world where there's like kind of like this rich upper city, and then it like is in conflict with this like poor crime ridden undercity type of thing, and there's like conflict between the two, and kind of see how, and then we learn about characters on both sides, and it's just really interesting and really highly reviewed, and I definitely recommend it to all of you guys. So
The animation style is really, really cool too.
yeah, the animation, it took like tons of years to do, and then people are like a little sad because it's going to take a long time to do it again for season 2. So but it's super good. I definitely recommend it.
Yeah, but I kind of wish they did that with One Punch Man season 2, is because the animation from the first one was so much better than the second.
Yeah.
And I heard it's because some guy at work told me that the artist I think he did most of it on his own or something. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into that, but yeah, that's why the animation I think the studio helped him on the second season, so they had to do it a lot
Speed it up.
faster.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I guess kind of looking forward to like Avatar 2 whenever that comes out, I guess. I'm a fan of Avatar
Yeah.
1. I know some people here aren't, Jordan, Cameron, but I'm not sure Grant's opinion on Avatar 1, but
It's been too long. I need to
yeah.
rewatch it.
I
I'm a
appreciate
fan.
It's
his
just hard
work.
for me to have an opinion on a 15-hour movie. It's just
Yeah.
It's long.
I've never been in a movie where I fell asleep for like more than an hour and a half and it still hadn't even reached like the climax. And I was like, what in the fudge is going on?
I'm a fan of the big world building, all the different, stuff going on. I'm a big fan of it. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
And I feel like it's right up that niche of because you really like that sci-fi, especially world building.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
That's it for
good?
me.
All right,
Yep.
cool. So I watched a couple movies because I'm sick, and so I spent a lot of time just watching movies all day. And I thought I'd get some movies off my bucket list that I've had on my bucket list forever. So YMS
Godfather?
recommended a bunch of Gaspar Noé, or however you pronounce his name, films. So I watched Climax and Irreversible. I do not recommend either one of these, but well-made films. Very, very graphic, very disturbing. But well made. That's all I got to say about it. Okay, and
May
then
I ask to why it was disturbing?
have you heard of The Last House on the Left? It's just like a
Nope.
very graphic.
Are they like horror genre?
No, one of them's about kids. So Climax is about a bunch of kids that somebody in their group spiked with their drink with LSD. So everybody starts going crazy and they start throwing people out in the snow and like lock them out in the cold. And one of them freezes to death. And the other one lights a girl on
Oh,
fire and they
geez.
start going crazy and like killing each other. And
Oh.
it's very
crazy.
disturbing. Irreversible is like Memento because it plays it backwards. You start out in this club where this guy smashes this guy's face in, and you're like, why did he do that? And it reverses is because this guy raped and killed his wife. So pretty crazy.
Wow.
And you watch it in graphic detail. So and then the other two films were by Julia Ducournau. I'm butchering these names. I'm sorry. They're both French
No, I think you hit it
directors.
right on the head.
So those
Ducournau?
first two were a French director, and this is also a French director, and also very well made. But I would never recommend these films either. So Titani, I can't even pronounce these names
Do you want to hop
right.
back
And
on,
then
Jordan?
Raw. I think I could wrap it up. And then so these two films, Titan, she like, oh my gosh, she has a baby with a car, and like this guy, she's on the run from police, and she hides out with this fireman, and he lost his son.
Fire hydrant.
Yeah, and so they're like very dysfunctional. He like keeps her there, and she like tapes her body so she looks like a man and like shaves her head and stuff. And so he thinks it's his son. It's just a really weird film, and like, and he like knows it's not his son, but he's so like he misses his son so much. Anyways, and then Raw is about a girl that finds out she loves the taste of human flesh. Very weird. It's just weird movies. And then I also watched this movie. Oh yeah, Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. Hilarious. I watched it twice. Watched it with my wife. And then I watched Terrified and Barbarian, both crazy films, and I can't wait to talk about them. I don't know if Cameron will be able to watch them, but they're so good. It reminds me of The Hills of Eyes.
Dude, I
And-
knew from Barbarian trailer I wasn't gonna watch that.
Yeah, Terrifier, Cameron, there's a scene where this lady, her head is like sideways and she's running out to the guy's car, and there's like this guy hiding in this dude's closet. It's so freaky. You should never watch
Yeah,
it. But
I heard somebody had to be like taken out of the theater from watching it because they had like a seizure or something like that.
oh wait,
from
did I say
watching it.
Terrifier or Terrified? I meant Terrified. That's a Argentina film. Are you saying
Oh.
Terrifier?
Yeah, for Terrifier 2, I've heard people like having to like
crap.
people throwing up watching it and people being like taken out on
I
stretchers.
wonder if that
'cause
was the first movie, because the second one is like a comedy.
oh, maybe I don't
Well,
know.
it's like Victor Crowley funny.
Like
Like
the comedy.
Only sickos like us think that's funny, Jordan.
I know, I was so excited. I was so
Jordan's
excited
like
to
a
go see
comedy.
Terrifier 2 with you guys, but you bums wanted to stay home and watch Love, Guns, and Robots, or whatever it's called.
Love, Death, and Robots.
Love
Yeah.
guns and robots.
Any final thoughts, Cameron, before we go?
Nope.
Peace, Nuggets.